Hello, what is up, everybody, my Patient Stream family? Hey, I wanted to touch bases real quick and let you guys know a couple things that are exciting, are coming down the pipe, and are going to be ready for all of our users shortly. First and foremost, I understand 100% that my role as as an owner of Patient Stream and as a person who is invested in the success of your practices is 100% dedicated to new patient marketing and acquisition. Okay, so anything that I can think of that will actually solve that problem and give you the tools and the trainings you need to do that is what I'm here for. So I wanted to share two things. One, the practice simulator and lead tracking, which is basically ready at this point. And then how it works when you're trying to, get more new patients. So we're looking right now at a blank version of the practice simulator and lead tracking. And I'm going to go through it step by step real quick to show you how it works. So we need to first establish a baseline of our current status. How many new patients are we getting right now? What does that reflect like? What does it look like as far as collections, and then how many total visits? Okay, so let's say our practice is getting about 45 new patients a month. Now, by the way, anything in blue requires you to input information. Anything in green is the output, the information. That is pretty cool, and that will show you how to fix your problems or grow your practice. All right, collections. So let's say as far as collections goes, we did 45 new patients and we did 60,000 in revenue. Okay. And then total visits, let's say we did, 800. I'm keeping these numbers very generic. Certainly everybody's is going to be a little different. But all right, so right now we have entered this baseline information. And the first thing that's going to tell us kind of the health of our practice. So the first thing is patient visit average, or in other words, PVA. Anything above 16, from my experience as a consultant, is considered healthy and good. Okay, per visit value, we're at $75, and then per case value is $1,333. So without too much commentary on whether that's good or bad or whatever the case may be, we're just going to say, hey, right now, where we're at is this number. And you can decide if that's good or if you need to do some things to improve even those numbers. All right, but at least now you know how the numbers break down. You know what your visit average is. You know what your case value is. You know all that stuff. And a lot of people kind of guess at that. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, okay, let's say we start, we start tracking how we are doing with leads for the end goal of being able to explode our practice with more leads. How do we do that? All right, so now if you were doing this in your practice, what you would do is you would go week by week. You'd put all of your lead volume. So I'm just going to put 54. Okay, you're not going to generally, unless you're spending a good amount of money, you're not going to get 54 leads in a week. But I don't want to take the time to go through each one of these weeks. Okay, so but you would go, okay, we got 10 leads this week. This week we got 14 leads, so on and so forth. Okay, you'd fill everything out so we know what the data says. But in this case, I'm going to put in a macro number. So I'm going to say week 1 instead of it being week 1. I'm going to say month 1. All right, so 54 leads. We want to hit this 70 to 60 number. Okay, so 60 is the goal. So we're going to go ahead and let's say 40. That's actually really good. So let's go ahead and do 35. Okay, so 35 is a totally acceptable KPI, a totally acceptable stat. 35 set appointments. Show rate, let's say that was 30. Okay, and that's 85%, totally doable. Day 1 to day 2, let's put that at 25. Okay, that's 83%. And then enrollment, let's say that was 20. Okay, of course your numbers will be different, but this is for an example. And then how much did we spend to get 54 leads? I'm just going to put $1,400. All right. And right away, out spits our cost to acquire, so our cost per patient, cost us $70 to get a new patient, okay? We've got all of our numbers, okay, and we'll talk about how to use those here in a minute. And then we can start using the simulator, okay? And here's what's cool about the simulator, okay? So right now our practice is currently doing $60,000 a month in revenue, but let's say we want to do more. Let's say we want to grow. Let's say we want to hit that 7-figure mark. We would go ahead and put in, and I'm just going to kind of guess, okay, so 15 won't do it. 18, okay, so it's actually 17, I think. Okay, we'll just go 18. So 18 new patients on top of our already 45 new patients will get us to our goal. So the big question then comes, how do we do that? How are we going to do that? Well, all of those calculations have been done for you. So what you're going to see is your growth simulator. In order to add 18 additional new patients on top of what you're doing already, you're going to need to spend $2,600, or in other words, $89 a day. So right now you're spending, what is $1,400? It's like $45 a day. So you're going to need to bump it up to $89 a day. You're going to need to get 103 new leads, okay, while maintaining all of these numbers, all right? And if you do that, you will hit that mark of, where your practice is at. Now, here's what's really cool. And one of the reasons why we start here with this document, the reason I'm taking so much time in creating this is what happens if you're not getting those results? Well, most of the time what happens is people just kind of fish around and look for, okay, our problem is lead quality, or our problem is this, or like there's so many things that you deduce, and it's almost by guessing. It's just it's a guesstimate of what is actually happening. Well, every single step of the pipeline has a KPI, has a stat, and you can quickly identify. So for example, if this was 15, you can quickly identify, whoa, and then everything else below would obviously change. Okay, that's 11, that's 10, that's 8, right? Everything below, wow, we have a problem right here at our appointment set stat, okay? Because we're at 27%. So what do we do to fix it? Well, we go to lead to appointment stat, okay? This is a rundown of how you fix that problem. The mindset, the stat, your checklist, all of the things that are involved in reaching those goals. You've got your lead volume protocol. It tells you how to do it, the tactical approach to doing it, okay? Your lead stacking protocol, how to keep leads coming in. Your market analyzer, identifying the best performing click campaigns in your market, okay? And so on and so forth. So everything has a protocol. So you can go back to it and say, okay, well, clearly we have a problem with this stat. How are we going to take this from 15 and get it back to 35, where we want it to be, and hit an acceptable KPI? Well, each stat will have an appropriate protocol, training and scripts and tutorials that you can use. So that's what I'm working on. I anticipate that the digital version will be ready within 2 weeks, but we're also going to send out a printed version to all of our amazing users, which is you guys. So I wanted to let you in on what's going on, how this whole thing will work, and let you know how excited we are. And anyway, thanks, comment below if you have any questions, and